Welcome once again to yet another episode of MAATSPORTS podcast. Today, just like you all our listeners already know, we've gone through the Group A, we've gone through the Group B. So today we will be going through the teams in Group C. So Sebastian, what team really interests you within this Group C? And actually, before you say anything, the Group C also actually have 12 teams, and I will go through the 12 teams quickly so our audience, our listeners know what teams we are talking about this evening. So the first team is the Senayoki Academia, SJK2. The second team is GS Hercules, a team from Oulu. And the third team is another team from Oulu, which is called OTP. We have the Rovaniemi Football Academy, which is also the academic team of Rovaniemi Paloseura, the main team, which is now in Kakkonen in Rovaniemi. We have the JJK, a team from Jyväskylä. We have Oulun Luis Tinseura, another team from Oulu, popularly known as OLS. We have Jakobstad Boo Club. Pardon my Swedish.
Jakobstads Bollklubben.
Exactly. Now Sebastian just helped me out with that one. It's easily called JBK in Finland, just to make things easy for every one of us. They are in Pietarsaari, the same city as Jaro, FF Jaro, which is in Kakkonen. We have also the GBK. That's also another very hard to pronounce, full pronunciation. It's called the Gamla Karlberg. That's a quite
Gamla Karleby.
It's something from the Swedish part.
Kokkola.
In Kokkola, exactly.
Yeah.
And we have the Vasa EFCO, which is in Vasa. We have Kemi City FC, a team from Kemi, a team that we are going to be looking a little bit into also because a lot of happened with that team in the last 3-4 seasons. But and they are in the Kakkonen now anyway. We are going to be talking about Narpes Crafts, a very interesting team. I've actually had one game against them in Narpes one time, maybe 3 or 4 seasons ago. And they are quite an interesting team. They are the only team that gives you fruit. They give their away teams fruit when they are leaving after games. Because they gave us a box of cucumber on that very day, and that was quite interesting. And also we have the FC Valiakoski. So that's also, I think it's a team from Pietarsaari also. I'm not really sure where they are from.
Valiakoski is next to Jyväskylä.
Next to it, Jyväskylä. Yeah, okay. So quite close to...
next to Jyväskylä. Maybe 15 kilometers, 10 kilometers from Jyväskylä, Valiakoski, Okay. If I'm not totally mistaken, but I lived 1 year in Jyväskylä, so, I think I should know that one.
Oh, good. All right, so these are the 12 teams in the Group C, and we'll be going through them one after the other. So, Sebastian, what are the interesting teams for you in this team before we go into main details?
Well, for me, there's just a couple of interesting notions. One is, of course, that out of these 12 teams, 7 teams are from the western coast by the sea. Mm-hmm. So it's a coastal group, so to speak. It's a funny coincidence, but that's what it is. But the main team really that I am interested in, and that is closest to my heart, is Kemi City Football Club. Due to my parents living at Kemi, and myself being also, I've lived in Tornio myself, and been spending quite many Christmases in the Kemi when I was a younger lad. So they're pretty close to my heart, and they've gone through a tough time. They got wonderful job as PS Kemi Kings. They went to Veikkausliiga, managed to stay there for 2 or 3 years. Unfortunately, went bankrupt. And now they are making their way back from Kolmonen up to Kakkonen. Last season they managed to survive in Kakkonen. Was a difficult season for them. And this season again, like you said before, there's been some serious upheaval and changes within the club. So let's see what will happen. But Kemi City FC will be the club of my choice and which I will be rooting for within this group.
But I bet you are not putting them anywhere in the top 6.
I think I placed them 11th, getting relegated. I hope I'm wrong, but it's my professional opinion. They're in for a tough season.
Wow. Okay,
I
good.
fear so.
Wow, at least we both have our. Actually, I haven't placed them anywhere close to 11th, but I haven't placed them anywhere close to top 6 either in this group.
Yeah.
So they are somewhere there. They have a very tough season last season as well. They managed to keep up in the second division, and I was thinking they would have added more players and build more strength to their team. But unfortunately, it seems like nothing of that nature has happened yet. And even the good ones that they had from last season has also left the team at the moment.
Yeah, they lost their top 2 goal scorers.
Exactly.
One went to Mikkel and the other one went abroad. So
yeah,
it's not an easy job for them.
Yeah. So, but let's see what they have to offer in this group this season, and let's hope for the best for them. I'm not going to talk anything too much against them now that I know that it's they are very close to your heart and
don't you dare.
Okay, all right.
Let's hope for the best. Let's hope for the best.
Yeah,
that they can get their house in order. They have a new head coach, Mikko Vilmunen. Last season he was the goalkeeper coach, assistant coach. This season, I don't know. Jari Åman was the head coach last season. I don't know if he's involved this season. As far as I know, he's not involved yet. It's Vilmunen who has, the main head coach role now for this season, and I wish him all the best. It's not an easy place to be because the training facilities in Kemi, they haven't been able to train at all basically this winter. They haven't got an indoor hall. They haven't got, artificial pitch that is heated. Basically, they're just training, amongst the snow.
Yeah.
So they're giving a little head start for the other teams in that sense also.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's actually, I don't even know much about their training facilities over there, but
I haven't got one yet in the winter time.
Just wish the best for them.
Yeah, sure.
So, Kakkonen, Group C. My take regarding these teams. Actually, I'm giving Senayoki SJK Academia another chance this season. I'm giving them another good chance to go.
I agree.
I'm giving them another chance to go up this season, but it's not going to be an easy ride for them. JS Hercules is right behind them in this division this season.
Yeah.
In this, because considering what GS Hercules has been doing over the years, it's a team now that has been very, very consistent. Coaching-wise, player-wise, system-wise, they have been very consistent in the last 2-3 seasons, and they've maintained every of the standard that they've kept on. And when you look at their squad at the moment, you will see that, for example, their goalkeeper in GS Hercules, he has been with the team now, maybe in the last 5-6 years. Peksu, Patronen, basically his name. He has been with the team for the last 6 years. Midfielder has been with the team, Kovalainen. He has been with the team for the last 3 or 4 years. Heavy Makarainen, he has been with the team actually for quite a long time. Went to OLS a couple of seasons ago, came back last season. So they've had the same squad of players, and that's why they had the result that they had last season also. But just because of the project that Yipo already have, Yipo actually were having a upper hand. And if you look at the point difference, it was only 4 points difference. And
that was close.
It was very close. It was very, very close. And it was actually 1 point until Yipo against Hercules, the game that was played actually towards the end of the season, where Yipo actually got the point that they needed to make the step upward. And obviously, I think Hercules was not willing to go, was not ready in their plans and projects to take the Kakkonen position for that season. Yeah. So I was, even though I'm giving it up for Senayoki Academia to be back in the Kakkonen because of their project, because of the resources, because of the background that they have also, I think GS Hercules will be right behind them, and they should watch their back on that one.
Yeah.
And
I agree
okay.
I agree on that sense. My top 3 competing for the promotion will be Hercules, Seinäjoki Academy, and Rovaniemi Football Academy also.
Okay.
I put them up with the top three, just due to the fact that their mother team now, Ropsi, are playing in Ykkönen, and they have a young squad also, so they most probably will be rotating the players quite much, I could expect, between Kakkonen and Ykkönen teams.
Yeah. Well,
dividing the playing time. So if they get things right, they could be Hercules and Seinäjoki Academy also as the main contenders to get promoted this year.
Okay, well, that's quite interesting because I actually am not putting Rovaniemi Football Academy in the top three. Okay. I'm actually putting them probably in the fourth position or maybe even in the fifth position.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm replacing the third position with JBK, Jakobstad. And because looking at JBK's form from last season, they weren't so bad either. They actually finished fourth behind Ropsi.
Yeah.
And mind you, remember Rovaniemi Football Academy this season, they have actually moved most of these guys that were in the academy team last season to the main team this season.
Yeah.
So if they have to shuffle between the two leagues, the Ykkönen and the Kakkonen league, with the same set of boys, these boys, considering their age and their experiences, they might just get tired somewhere along the line in the course of the season. And looking at a team like JBK with the age, I think the average age, if I remember correctly, it's around so average age is around 24.4 years.
Yeah.
And if you look at Ropsi, average age is I think 18 point something. So I think these things will definitely tell when the season starts properly. And considering what happened last season, I think from that perspective, JBK might just leap over Rovaniemi this season and be in the third position. This is my humble.
You might be absolutely right. Also, the thing to keep in mind is that JBK's parent club is FF Jaro.
Yeah.
So they're a feeder club. They get players from FF Jaro, also JBK, strengthening their position, even more.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, there's a lot of feeder clubs in this league. In this group, in this group that come from the Veikkausliiga. There's, for example, JBK is one of them. Then there's, I think, Oulun Luistinseura is a feeder club for AC Oulu, if I'm not totally mistaken. So that's another club. Yeah, and then we have Rovaniemi Football Academy. Okay, they were relegated from Veikkausliiga last season, but their parent club is Ropsi. And we have SIK Akatemia, of course, Seinäjoki. So there's quite a lot of under 23 teams whose parent clubs played or used to play in Veikkausliiga within this group. So that will be another interesting, how much will they get support from their parent clubs?
Yes, exactly. Now, actually, we've established some top three teams here. We've established SJK, we've established YES Hercules. I have established JBK, you have established Rovaniemi as the third position.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the teams within the middle of the table, or the team that could be at the mid-table of this group. First, let's talk about the Oulun, Tuyovien, Paleo Liat, OTP.
Okay, actually, the working class footballers.
And they are. Actually, they are the team that got promoted from Kolmonen last season.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
interesting stuff, I think. Well, I think they lost a couple of their key players who got them promoted from Kolmonen. The foreign players, I don't remember their names, but Titi, I think one was it, or something like this. And anyway, plus also they have a new head coach now.
Yes.
That they didn't have last season. So again, there's some new things coming on within this club, and that will be interesting to see how they will, manage it. You lose your two top players, who bring your promotion. You suddenly lose your head coach who gave you promotion. And now they're totally under a new head coach, with his new ideas again and new stuff, new players coming in. Very interesting to see. Very interesting to see how he coached with the stuff. Also, we have to keep in mind they dominated Kolmonen last season. They totally dominated the league.
Yes.
Nobody else had any sort of chance whatsoever. So that would, bode well in that respect, that they could be at the ready level for Kakkonen. But as we see many times before, the difference between the leagues is huge.
Yes.
And now after losing their experienced players and their head coach, what will happen with the new coach, with his new players, with his new methods, his new style of play? A lot of question marks. We will see when the season starts, but it could be that they're comfortably in mid-table. It could be that they're back in Kolmonen after the season too. That's my opinion.
So the truth is, you have a very, very good opinion about them. I think we both have our opinion are pretty much on the same line regarding OTP. The good is they lost a lot of great players from last season, but even now this season they have a whole lot of good players also coming in. For example, they have a player from Pepo who was in Pepo last season. They have a player. Actually, they have two players from AC Olu from last season. Actually, one of them was a regular starter in AC Olu. So they have this guy by name Yere Aliko, who has been with AC Olu for a couple of seasons. They have Alexander Jubril, who was with AC Olu for a couple of seasons, also coming to OTP. So they have these great guys also. They have these great signings, and of course, I'm not sure if I heard you correctly. I think you were talking about Titi Zomba. Actually, he's still with the team this season.
Okay.
Yeah, he's still with the team this season. So the only problem that I have with the OTP this season is how to blend all these qualities and make them as a team. Individual players, they are solid, very, very solid, solid players, no doubt about that. A couple of them have had a Verkos League. If they haven't had a Verkos League experience with a team, they've played against Verkos League teams in Suomi Cup, couple of Verkos League teams. So they have all of these experiences, no doubt about that. They have Michael Ibiyomi, a big, bold striker who was with Ropes a couple of seasons ago in the Verkos League, who has been with AC Kayani in Kakkonen. But the biggest problem with them is, will they manage to put all of these heads together and form a solid team? That is where in fact, this is the only reason why I think I'm putting them probably at the 7th, 8th, 9th position at the end of the season. Because
we all remember what happened to RC Kayani. They were battling with the same issue year after year after year. On the individual level, they signed top quality players from all around the world, but the coaching staff couldn't get them to play as a team and stay committed as a team through the whole season. And that is the biggest problem also, like you said. Now, I agree with you 100%. Can the coaching staff of OTP get the quality out of these players, get them playing as a team and, functioning as a unit?
Well,
that's the biggest question.
That's for me. That's
if they can do it, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, they have the resources to do it. They have. When you look at their lineups, I don't know what's going to be their first 11 anyway, but they are one of the teams that have the biggest squad in Kakkonen this season in all of the three groups. At the moment, they've had about over 30 players in their squad.
That's a lot.
At the moment, that's a lot. And every one of them, I think I'm 100% correct. Every one of them have a contract. All of these over 30 players in this squad have a contract with them. That's a lot. And that's
almost too much.
Exactly. And now you are putting this big squad to be led. No disrespect to any manager, but he is new to Finland. He's just 31 years old. A lot will happen, definitely. Most of these boys might even start feeling at some point that they have a better experience regarding Finnish football than the coach. So
it can be. And also, if you have a big squad like OTP have got over 30 players, you have to keep in mind only 11 of those 30 players will be starting regularly the games. Then you have 20 players who will be naturally upset and unhappy. They're not getting the playing time they think they deserve.
Exactly.
And once that starts to rot in the club, then the coach will be under some serious pressure how to keep all those players happy and satisfied within the team.
Exactly.
That's
and that
the
would be a big
constant
factor.
problem the coach has. You're best friends with the guys who start every game, no problem. But the guys who don't start, how do you manage them? How do you keep them happy? How do you keep them part of the team, motivated through training sessions and that kind of stuff? That is the biggest issue always the coaches have.
Yeah, exactly. And now it's even going to be very, very big because you will be having 21 players after the first 11 that will be starting, because now I think I'm counting about 32 players in their squad. So
that's too big. That's too big. Yeah,
you will be having 21 players to deal with every time. So that's too big, and for a new coach in the team, it's going to be a very difficult one. And they're already beginning to have a lot of issues because they have 2 friendly games here against OLS, and both they've actually lost. And if you look at the strength of OTP, look at the strength of OLS. OLS shouldn't be a team that should be competing where OTP is. But for some reason, they've had 2 games against OLS and they've lost both.
Yeah.
So this is saying quite a lot about the team. But I hope them a very good. I wish them a very good season. I wish them a very good season. They are very close to my heart also. I know on a personal basis, I know quite a lot of their players. I know quite a lot of the coaching and the backroom staff as well. So I wish them a whole lot of luck in the new season coming ahead. But the truth has to be told, and this is how I see it from my own end regarding that.
Yeah, I agree. Best of luck. Best of luck.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go on to JJK, Jyväskylä.
Yeah, again, another team with a new head coach. Well, Ari Koski came from before Kajanin Haka. He was head coach of AC Kajani, naturally in Ykkönen. Yeah, didn't get success, got the sack, and now he took up Kajanin Haka in Kolmonen. Didn't follow quite much, but I think he did an okay job there. And now he got another chance with JJK. And Jyväskylä is, within the Finnish standards, it's quite a big city. There's, I think, 100,000 people there almost in Jyväskylä. So they definitely have got, the standard of the very big city in Jyväskylä, and that will give, of course, some bigger expectations for the team to do well with their sort of a setup they have there in Jyväskylä. So it'll be interesting to see again. It's another chance for him as a coach, to show what he's made of, to show that he can, he has got what it takes to bring success to a team. Yeah. And it's always great to see, this thing. But, like I said, if he fails this season with Jyväskylä, it will be a tough road for him to get back up, to this level. I'm afraid so. Yeah. It's a ruthless business. It's a results business. And he has now an excellent chance to prove that he has got what it takes. But let's see what happens.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Let's see what happens with him, and I really wish him a best of luck. Also, he has been anyway consistent regarding Finnish football at this level of the Finnish football league. So I just wish he gets something going with Jyväskylä this season. Considering even their position last season wasn't so bad, so anything better than what they achieved last season, I think will be a big success for him.
Yeah.
Okay, a team that I would like us to look into now is GBK. I've had a lot of experience with GBK also in terms of traveling with a team to play against them, and they have really looked like a team who has been on their own for years now. They've been doing their own project, and they shouldn't actually, from my own understanding regarding them, they shouldn't be in Kakkonen, because they have been working quite a lot over the years also. They are one of the teams in Group C that have actually been financing their teams quite a lot over the years. I don't know how it has been with them last season or how it is with them also this season in terms of finances. But since 2016, yes, that have been actually interested in the Group C of the Kakkonen teams, GBK has been one of the teams that are quite solid. They've been actually employing a whole lot of good players, a whole lot of matured players, a whole lot of experienced players in the team, but for some reason they never got promoted. They never got a promotion into Ykkönen or even higher. So GBK, quite an interesting team interesting team this season also in Kakkonen, but definitely they will. I'm still going to be putting them in the bottom 6 of this league this season. Nothing so interesting about them.
Yeah,
no,
I agree.
Yeah. So let's look into the next team. Let's talk about OLS. Olu Luistin Seura.
Yeah. Oulu Skating Club. Weird name for a football.
Very weird name for football.
Yeah.
One of the teams with the youngest age average this season in this group, definitely. So what do you think about them?
Well, last season they got actually relegated from Kakkonen, but managed to stay in Kakkonen due to Kajani going bankrupt, quitting their existence. So they were lucky in that sense. They get a free card to try again in Kakkonen. And this season, like I said, they're the feeder club for AC Oulu. If they get players from AC Oulu, they can stay in Kakkonen, no problem. I definitely think so. But if AC Oulu won't be supporting them with players, then they'll be coming down, one of the relegation favorites again this season. I can't see them, fighting to stay in Kakkonen if they don't get help with AC Oulu.
Oh, well, the first and foremost, let me say that for sure I don't see them going down this season. I don't see them.
Yeah.
Now my own humble opinion about OLS. With or without the help of players from AC Oulu coming down to help them, I don't see them going down. They've been quite impressive, at least during this preseason. They have been very, very impressive. Yeah. Actually, they've surprised a whole lot of people in the city of Oulu regarding their friendly matches. What they have played from, and also from how far they went in Suomi Cup games. They've actually surprised a whole lot of people here. So I don't really see them going down, and they've acquired a couple of good players also to the team. These players are not going to be having any shot in the Vekos Liga AC Oulu team this season. So they will be stick to OLS throughout the season, and I think this will bring a lot of strength to OLS team also. So I believe that they will comfortably be staying in Kakkonen this season. They shouldn't have the problem that they had last season, running through relegation battle and then eventually got relegated. I think that's not going to be one of the things that they will be going through this season. I think they are strong enough to remain.
You'll be right. Let's hope so.
To remain in Kakkonen. Yeah. Well, you never know what happens to these to these teams when the real thing starts. You'll just realize that. Moving away from Olu Luistin Seura, OLS, let's talk about Napes Crafts, the Cucumber Club.
Now, tell you the truth, Musa, that cucumber thing is the only thing I know about Närpes Craft. So, you have to take the ball on this one.
Wow.
I don't think they'll be very flattered, if we talk about the cucumber.
Anyway, every time I talk about them, every time I remember them, every day that thoughts come over my head, the only thing I remember is the cucumber box that they gave to GS Hercules on our way back.
There you have it. The Cucumber Club.
So that's how I always call them, the Cucumber Club. But all right, moving away from Närpes Crafts.
Yeah.
FC Vajakoski.
Vajakoski. A small place, very small place, Vajakoski. It's basically a miracle they have got a club up at this level. And that's basically all I can say about it. Yeah. A strange club to me, but somehow they're fighting year after year, in Kakkonen, so they have to be doing something right. Exactly.
That's what I was thinking about. And they haven't been so bad. They haven't struggled. They haven't struggled with the relegation battle at all since I've been following them. So
comfortable mid-table positions.
Exactly, comfortable mid-table positions. And last season, looking at them, they were only 24 points. So 2 points behind the three teams that were 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Yeah.
In the table from last
season. Could be, of course, because they're located right next to Jyväskylä. And Jyväskylä have got 100,000 people living there, so there can be quite a lot of ex-professional players, top-level players coming to play for fun, so-called fun in Vaajakoski team. They don't have to train too much, they don't have to take any pressure, they just go and play the games and have a good time. And the average quality from their good old days is enough to keep Vaajakoski in Kakkonen comfortably.
True.
That could be.
I'm looking forward to see them again this season. They will be in Oulu 3 times at least, at the minimum.
Yeah. From Jyväskylä to Oulu, it's another 3.5 hours, 4 hours trip by bus.
By bus, it's not so far.
Not too bad, but it's not, it's not fun either.
It's not. But it's definitely far better off than coming from Northwestcraft.
Yeah.
Still very much closer. Yeah. And so what other team haven't we actually talked? I'm keeping Kemi City for the last.
Yeah. I think the only thing that's left is Jakobstad Bollklubben.
Okay.
Did we talk about that, Pietarsaari?
Yes. All right. Let's talk about Jakob. Let's talk about JBK. Let me forget the Swedish name.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. Again, like I said, they have a new coach. They have a new coach this season, a new head coach. Their ex-coach, Jimmy Wog, left as head coach of FF Jaro, the first team. So they recruited a new head coach, JB Key, and they are the feeder team for FF Jaro. So they will be getting some players from the Ykkönen team, Ykkönen club, that will most probably help them in their, promotion bid. But it would be interesting to see if JBK ever got promoted to Ykkönen, then that would mean that, the cooperation between Jaro and JBK would have to end because they play in the same division then.
Yeah.
You can't be a feeder club to the same division club. So that will be, let's see what happens. Do they want to get promoted? Do they want to actually fight for promotion? Or are they just satisfied to stay within the middle league and stay in Kakkonen?
Yeah.
Also, one thing again that we have to keep in mind is the new format that the Finnish Football Association has put forward for this season. That means the top 4 clubs are having a chance of getting promoted. Not only the top club as last season.
Yeah.
But top 4 clubs have got, it's enough that you're in the top 4 after the basic league has ended. Then you have got a chance to get into the promotion playoffs, even as position number 4.
Yeah. But having looked at JBK, I would still think that they are definitely, just like I said earlier, I put them ahead of Ropes or Rovaniemi Football Academy to be in the top position this season, because they, considering where they ended last season and just 3 points behind Rovaniemi, and for what they have done this season regarding recruitment of new players into their team, I have a conviction that they will be having a better season than the last season, this season anyway. So I'm looking forward to what they have to offer. I'm looking forward to see them come to Oulu and do their thing. But they should be definitely one of the teams that we're playing in the promotion playoffs at the end of the season.
Okay.
I hope they don't disappoint me.
Interesting. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Okay. So now we've talked about JBK. So let's go talk about Kemi City FC. Kemi.
Okay. There's only one Kemi City FC.
Yeah. Let's look a little bit more. Let's look a little bit more into the team. What do you think? Like
I said before, we touched the subject that, this season, their training facilities, the truth is they haven't got training facilities. They forfeited their place in the Finnish Cup because they didn't have even a squad of players, who were eligible to play in the games. They didn't have training facilities where they could train. They didn't have an indoor hall. They didn't even have an AstroTurf they could heat up due to, they just haven't got it. The only pitch, Sauvosaaren kenttä there's 2 meters of snow on top of it. There's no lighting, there's no heating, there's nothing there,
Yeah.
They have got some serious issues with their facilities right now. And I think they had some plans, they had some plans in joint with Kemi City Council to improve the Sauvosaari Stadium area, to make it an AstroTurf that is heated and even an indoor hall and all these kind of stuffs. But I think that was put on hold due to their last season's investment situation that came in. They have an English, I think it's Red Stripe or Red Strike. What is it? Red Strike, I think. The investment company that owns a part of Afsek ME-City.
Mm-hmm.
And they're waiting for that. They don't actually pump money in, but they more like, want to give some sort of connection, and players and this kind of stuff, arrange player loans and so forth for the club. Yeah. They have a new head coach from last season's assistant coach. Ville Monen came on as head coach this season, and they've just now, I think, started rehearsing or training properly within the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
So they have a young team, totally made of local players, Tornio, Kemi City area players. And it could be a difficult season for them. There is still time until April to get some money in the club due to some, sponsorship contracts, new financial agreements, this kind of stuff that could help them to sign a couple of experienced players, foreign players.
Yeah.
ME City have had foreign players quite a lot. Last season they got some through the Red Strike connections from England. But this season, like you said, we talked earlier, they lost 2 of their top scorers. Samson Eguka, I think, went to Mikkeli. And Jobovic, ex-striker, who played with Kemi many years, left, abroad. I think he went to Serbia or somewhere to play a second division club in Serbia, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, they lost 20 goals from last season. And considering they only scored 28 goals, they lost 20 goals from that. And now they're trying to, do the same thing with their own local youth players. So difficult situation.
Very difficult.
I think last season Kemi City made a record in Finnish football. They went through the whole season without playing even one draw. They won 7 games and they lost 10 games. 0 draws. They never had a draw last season. They refused to draw the game. It was either win or lose with Kemi.
Is that a win or lose?
Yeah. And most of the wins for Kemi came home, like you said. The 7 wins they got, I think they were, if not all home games, most of them were home games. So in the end, they ended in single one of the away games, or at least close enough.
Wow, yeah. So basically,
let's see what happens this season. Like you said, it's a very interesting season. They have still got time to to sort out the house, to get in some new players, and but like I said, they give an awful amount of advantage to other clubs just due to their lack of training facilities at the moment.
Yeah.
And even if they get promoted to Ykkönen this season for some reason or in the future, they have to sort out their stadium issues and their training facility issues before they'll be allowed to get the license even to Ykkönen.
Well, looking at Kemi City from last season, you were talking about their home games and the points they gather from their home games and the points they gather from their away games. I'm just looking at it quickly now. From the possible 8 games from last season, they actually gathered 18 points.
Home points. Okay.
Home games. From possible 8 home games, they gathered 18 points. And from the possible 9 away games, they gathered only 3.
Yeah, so there we go. They lost all but 1.
Yeah, so just like you said, so definitely from all the games, they pretty much gathered all their points from the home games. So, and that might also happen this season. But with what they have already this season, with the kind of players that they have, with the availability of their players, which I believe they should be available for the away games, if they could hide the number from these 3 to 10 and maintain the 18 and at least probably drop it by 15, that will be putting them to 25 points at the end of the season, and I think that's enough to stay comfortably in the Kakkonen.
Yeah, but they haven't still replaced Jovovic's or Samson's goals.
Wow.
20 goals they have to replace somehow, They haven't done it yet. That will be the big question. It's all okay if you have a goalkeeper and a defense. If you don't concede, you don't lose. But also, if you don't score, you'll never win.
You'll never win. Yeah.
Yeah. So they have to somehow find a way to get those 20 goals that they lost in the form of 2 players And I can't see it happening if they just give a youngster a chance in their club. Let's put this 8-year-old daddy, up here and playing men's division Kakkonen. Let's hope he scores 20 goals this season. It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. It's definitely not going to happen. And,
but there's time until April. Let's see what happens with Kemi. I wish them all the best.
Yeah, I really wish them all the best as well. Really wish them all the best as well. So let's see. So I think I haven't talked about Kemi, which I put to be the last team to talk about because of the interest that you have with the team. I think we've covered the whole 12 teams in this group. Wow, but anyway, on this note, we've actually talked through the teams in Group C of the Kakkonen, which is the Division 2 league in Finland. So you have it, our listeners, you've heard it all again. And this is on this note, I think we will be coming to an end of today's podcast episode. So Sebastian, an outro message for our listeners once again, just like we always do.
Okay, thank you guys for listening in and tuning in. It was a long episode today, but hopefully you got something out of it. Now we've covered all the divisions and leagues in Finland that we wanted to cover, and after this episode we can start to get in, some interesting topics about, players, matches, transfers, this kind of stuff, and hopefully get in some guests also as, professional players and professional coaches as guests on this podcast, and get some good discussion going on that line too. So stay tuned. Thank you. Subscribe and, spread the word. See you next time.
All right. See you guys next time.